Alberta, our home. Pristine mountains and lakes, wide open pastures and fertile fields, unmatched natural resources, world-class cities, world-class people. Alberta truly has it all. We are a strong and free people, full of entrepreneurs, food producers, builders, caregivers.
I'm sorry, I just imagine Mark Carney behind her putting up the pride flag, because that's what he did on the Capitol Hill, right? He raised the pride flag, which, I'm sorry, it has nothing to do between Canadian flag and provincial flags. I'm sorry, you guys are not a nation. It's just the ideology.
Teachers, and a whole lot of hardworking, tough as nails, get her done grit.
Get her done.
The potential is as limitless as our skies. But let's face it, Alberta's being held back.
Oh yeah.
Our economy has been under attack for most of the last 10 years. Frankly, off and on for decades long before then. Not by a foreign country or by world economic forces. No, Alberta's biggest threat to our prosperity and growth has come from our own nation's capital. Alberta has an Ottawa problem. For the last 10 years, Ottawa, led by successive Liberal governments propped up by their NDP allies, have taken direct aim at Alberta's core industries. Ottawa's Bill C-69 killed several major Alberta pipeline and resource projects. Their West Coast tanker ban specifically blocks Alberta oil from accessing world markets.
It's just so funny. So Ottawa is blocking all of these ways how to make money, but at the same time they don't feel bad for the equalization payments that pretty much are coming all from Alberta, Saskatchewan, and BC, right? Even though you're trying to damage these provinces, trying to prevent them from making more money, you're okay taking their money. It's ridiculous, and I'm sorry, but the separate movement in Alberta, I think it's getting stronger and stronger every day, because Albertans love to be part of Canada, but at the same time, we have only one life, right? And we don't want to live in poverty.
Excessive industrial carbon taxes and the new oil and gas emissions cap are designed to keep our world-class oil and gas reserves in the ground. And net zero mandates on everything from electricity to vehicles are causing the cost of living to increase, business costs to soar, and are even endangering the stability of our power grid in the dead of winter. And the effects on Alberta's economy have been staggering. In just the last 10 years alone, more than $500 billion, that's $500 billion, in global investment capital destined for our resource sector has disappeared. It walked away from Alberta and Canada, and instead headed off to Texas, Asia, and the Middle East, to places that welcome resource development and jobs. That cost Alberta and Canada quite literally hundreds of billions in GDP, corporate taxes and resource royalties for healthcare, education, and public infrastructure. It cost hundreds of thousands of jobs and thousands of healthy and growing businesses. It was national self-harm on a level never seen. And no province was hurt more than ours. And those costs keep building every single day. But we're not just losing investment, we're losing trust. As I said, this story is bigger than just the last decade. Alberta has been treated unfairly for decades long before that. We've built roads, rail, power, jobs, and prosperity for this country. Yet we've been told to keep quiet and be grateful while sending $20 billion a year more to Ottawa than we receive back in funding each year. In fact, since 1980...
You know what? I wonder how these equalization payments are going to change, since people are actually leaving Canada. I think there's two provinces with positive immigration, and that's Alberta and, I don't know, BC? I'm not sure right now. But Alberta's the best province right now regarding immigration. Everyone's moving to Alberta. So why are we sending all of the money outside of the Alberta instead of creating more jobs? Again, unleashing resources, building the pipeline, just getting the oil from the ground, all of that stuff, right? Why aren't we building stronger economy for the province that's actually getting more people in there?
Alberta has contributed $653 billion more to federal taxes than we received back. That means well over $500 billion went directly from Alberta to fund other provinces, mostly with economies larger than ours, through programs, transfers, and equalization. And despite this, we have continued to be the economic engine and job-creating juggernaut of this country, and have opened our province to those from every corner of Canada looking for work and opportunity. And when we point out these facts, how do Ottawa politicians and Eastern elites respond? Our concerns are dismissed, our values marginalized, our leaders vilified, and our industries remain targeted. Most Albertans are or want to be proud Canadians. We've fought for this country, fed this country, and powered this country. But the status quo relationship with Canada cannot continue. It's time for Alberta to take a stand.
Ooh. Is she gonna endorse separatist movement? I don't think she would. Because Danielle Smith priority is for Alberta to stay in Canada, but something needs to change. And my own stance is I would love for Alberta to stay in Canada. However, I feel like Canada's too far gone right now. And unless there's going to be some huge change in the leadership of Canada, and I don't even think the Conservatives would be able to turn it around within next 10, 20 years. I honestly think separation is the best option for Alberta. I'm sorry, but under Mark Carney, under Liberals, there's no way it's going to get ever better again. Under Conservatives, it's going to get better, but it's going to take a while. And we're not getting younger. We don't have time to wait for it. I'm sorry, but unless something very radical happens, like I said, put a pause on taxes for everyone. And then we can talk about it. And I'm talking about every single tax. Or leave just provincial taxes. Why am I supposed to support the rest of the country, right? When I live in one province. Like, you need to make something so families and the citizens and residents can recover. And then we can slowly work on making everything better. But we cannot just slowly work on making everything better, because by the time it's better, people will be on the streets. People will die by hunger. And it sounds ridiculous, but that's the way it's going right now.
With ideas, with facts, with our voices, and with action. If Canada is to be a strong and unified country, it must include a strong and sovereign Alberta, able to pursue our own potential without being held back by our own country. That's why we're launching the Alberta NEXT panel, a province-wide series of in-person and virtual town halls where your voice, your ideas, and your values will help shape Alberta's road ahead. The Alberta NEXT panel gives you a seat at the table to speak directly with industry and government leaders, constitutional scholars, and policy experts, to explore ideas for Alberta to assert our constitutional rights to prosper and become an equal partner in Confederation, and to discuss how we can protect Alberta from outside economic attacks going forward. And when the panel has finished its work, it will recommend which ideas should be put to the people of Alberta for a referendum vote in 2026. Now, I know these can be tough and emotional conversations, and that's okay. We are Albertans. We can have hard conversations and share our ideas and opinions respectfully, and stay good friends and neighbors while doing so. Because really, the vast majority of Albertans, regardless of their politics or backgrounds, all want the same thing. We want to live in a country that works for us, not against us. It's about building an Alberta that is strong, free, and sovereign within a united Canada that respects and empowers our province to achieve our full potential. And that's why I need your help. Because the best ideas don't come from government, they come from you. From the shop floor, the field, the classroom, the boardroom. Albertans are doers, builders, problem solvers. And we've had enough of waiting for someone else's permission to turn that energy into even more prosperity for our province. That's why we need to take the next step. Alberta NEXT is about doing just that. It's about asking, what else can we do? Where else can we lead? What powers can we assert that are already ours? It's time to explore every option and to pursue every good solution. So what comes next? That's up to you. Join us this summer in your community or online. Register, show up, be heard, so our beautiful Alberta can remain forever strong and free.
It sure sounds a lot like advertisement for Alberta separation, I'm not gonna lie. Again, no one really wants to leave Canada right now, but well, I mean, more and more people want to leave Canada right now, let's be honest. What I meant, like, no one wants Alberta to separate. Like, we would love to stay part of the Canada. However, like I said, something needs to change, and Danielle Smith knows it for sure. I feel like something like European Union model would be more beneficial for Alberta. Yes, we're going to be part of the Confederation, but we're going to make most of the decisions. You're not going to talk. You're not going to give us regulations like Bill C-69 or stuff like this. Like, it should be more like a partnership than... yeah, I don't even know how to describe what's going on from Ottawa, but it's nothing in the best interest of Alberta. Like, we shouldn't follow the things that are not in the best interest of Alberta. And again, Bill C-69, not only that it's not in the best interest, it's literally created to damage Alberta. The same thing like the EV mandate, right? Alberta's built on oil. What do you mean that by year 2035 we're not going to have any fossil fuel cars? That's ridiculous. It's not something Alberta should agree with, and I know Danielle Smith does not agree with it. The same thing about the clean energy. Again, Alberta's built on the fossil fuels. Next to us, we have BC with coal and all of that. Really, we don't have any clean energy grid right now. So you think by the year 2035, we're going to be able to cover all of the energy demands of the whole Alberta? Now, what's going to happen is that we're going to get the energy from the US, where they're not going to have clean energy grid either. So we're going to support their unclean energy. Why?